I really try to race with the sun when I'm doing these videos. Usually I would film around 3 in the morning. But for some reason, I will get up because of this new heater and I will fall asleep on the desk. Okay, maybe I need to get used to it. I don't know. But hey, I apologize with the quality of the video and the dreamy, milky looking image. It's the sun, morning sun. Anyways, so I have been watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in between a lot of things that I was doing during Andrea Johnson's testimony. I must say also that the Andrea Johnson testimony was draining. It was so draining. And what was draining about it for me, I was watching a woman that decided to destroy her own career. Okay, maybe not most, because you cannot be most when now it's like this. She is so intelligent, that woman. See, if you are objective and you are not emotional and you are listening to Andrea Johnson, she is very intelligent. It's becoming clear to me why she was easy to climb the legal ladder because of her intelligence. And I'm sure she's also highly respected in the legal fraternity by a lot of people, whether these are lawyers or prosecutors, whatever the case might be. She must be a very, very respected woman. But something went wrong. So around 2022, with all the complaints that were happening about the National Prosecuting Authority, that it's not doing its job. I mean, we had the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, and it came with a thick report that costed us a little over R1 billion, or a little under R1 billion. And it was damning. It named names and it made recommendations. And most of these recommendations were people to be arrested, prosecuted, and convicted. But they are roaming around, and they are amongst us, y'all. Some, they even got reappointed in the Cyril Ramaphosa administration. Some, they went to court, but somehow slipped through and cases disappeared. And then on the 6th of July, 2025, comes Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the general, and he says, hey, the country is rotten. South Africans are shocked and they got sobered up, those that were drunk, and they were like, tell us more. And ever since Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi had dropped bombshells with receipts, what have we had? We have casualties that are dropping like flies. And the latest one being Andrea Johnson. I don't think Andrea Johnson is going to see the end of this week without handcuffs slapped on her wrists, and have seen the magistrate and now preparing for trial. I would not be surprised, because what I was hearing was conspiracy of Idac to commit crimes. But let's go back to what I said earlier about how Idac was established in 2022, or at least an appointment was made in 2022 by Cyril Ramaphosa, the president, and he appointed Andrea Johnson as the independent. What does IDEC mean? Okay, I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, but it has something to do with anti-corruption because of the non-prosecutorial, or the lack of prosecution of those that were implicated in the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, and also politicians that were just, doing nilly-willy stuff with our purse and things of that nature. And that this department was to fast-track prosecutions, especially especially anti-corruption. Now, what happened along the way is what I want to know. Something fundamentally wrong that happened that got Andrea Johnson involved in what now looks like there is some sort of a cabal in the NPA and IDEC jointly. What is it? And it's looking like it's targeting specific people. Somebody, I don't know if it was explained by Padiachi or I heard it from somebody else who said that the police sometimes they don't get along with each other. So what they do is they wait for promotions. And if any of them get promoted first and then they become superior to the other one, that's when they deal with the enemy by smearing cases that they did not commit and things of that nature. And which, by the way, convinces me that the Senzo Meyiwa whole saga that is happening in the Judge Rata's courtroom, all a farce. All of it is a lie. Because when you listened to Padiachi kind of like gave the foundation of how exactly they smear, even though he's denying all of these things, but how they smear criminal cases against you and you have never committed those crimes. I mean, we even heard some most ridiculous admissions like, oh, we arrested her because in the future she was going to commit a crime, Miss Mukweli. Miss Mukweli was going to commit a crime in the future, so you arrested. So those are the things that are making you go like, it's making sense now. It's making a whole lot of sense why we have the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial today and why we have those people that are accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa are there. And at the end of the day, it kind of like almost proves what I've always said about the Senzo Meyiwa case. It's a farce. And I think the Meyiwas, as I've always said, they knew this. And again, the unfortunate part for me is justice. It's not going to be served. This is a miscarriage of justice. That is why when Batohi, as well as Andrea Johnson, when they were asked about the Senzo Meyiwa case in Parliament at the Idac committee, when I used to watch before, in fact, I was the days where I was like, they were dilly-dallying about it. They were not giving direct answers. That's when you knew, would see, this is cooked up. This is a cooked up case. I don't care who says what. This is a cooked up case. So now you are seeing it how it's playing itself amongst police officers themselves. So General Dumsane Kumalo was the target of Feroz Khan. And so Feroz Khan, this is my observations and my opinions, by the way, and that's how I understood the testimony to sound like. So he did what he does best. He goes to the to IDEC. At first, it's to the prosecutor, who happens to be Andrea Johnson in 2018, 2019, when that incident of a pen where he was demanding to be referred to as general by a police officer who opened a case of assault, and that case of assault disappeared. Why? Because the prosecutor sent the content of the docket to the accused or the suspect, so that when he gets interviewed by investigators, he knows exactly how to answer them because he's already prepared with the content from the victim. And so, of course, that case disappeared into thin air. So when you continue with Feroz Khan and Andrea Johnson, the NDPP or the former NDPP, Shamila Batohi, also comes into the mix when it comes to important prosecutions that needed to be done, but dockets disappeared, dockets are decided not to be prosecuted, and things of that nature. Once again, it all in the police force. And the targets, Dumsane Kumalo and company. And then comes the PKTT. The PKTT does its work, and people panic and assume that it's investigating them. And then the process of them getting disbanded by the minister begins on the 31st of December 2024. And all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. So I knew at some point that either Andrea Johnson, anyways, I did not finish her testimony, but the part that I did see, I was like, this woman, if I were her, I would stand up, thank the Madlanga Commissioner for Inquiry, and I don't know if this is going to be allowed, and then inform the commission that I realized that I messed up and I'm intended, basically, I'm resigning. I am resigning. I don't want to leave that office screaming and kicking. Crimes were being committed here, from what I was hearing from Andrea Johnson, defeating the ends of justice in particular, that was being submitted by Andrea Johnson. Oof. So last night when I went to bed, I did see the breaking news. I was tired, y'all. I was tired. I was like, there's no way that I am going to sit down and do a video about her resignation within 24 hours and all of that stuff. And of course, MPA is not going to talk about it until the president has received the letter of resignation and processed. And then I guess that they'll be able to say something. I don't know. But Andrea Johnson is definitely not going to see freedom for a very long time. And I also heard that the lady, Miss Mukweli, had, I don't know if she opened a complaint or a lawsuit against Andrea Johnson. I won't be surprised. And in fact, she'll be correct to do both, because that lady was traumatized. When she appeared in court, she was traumatized. And now we see why she was. It's a sad situation. It's a sad situation because it's happening in a very important state apparatus, the prosecution body of the country. It's put it into disrepute, in my opinion. And the new NDPP has a lot of work to clean that image up. It really does. I haven't heard much from him since he took over. I hope in the background they are busy cleaning the image. And I mean, Andrea Johnson has taken them back a few steps with everything that transpired in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And to admit that you lied in the error committee, I was like, I would lie too. That's a joke, that thing. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is a joke. I'm not the Madlanga. I apologize, Madlanga. No, you are not. You're not a joke. The error committee, that's a joke. So I would not take it serious either. I would have said whatever I wanted to say and then walk away being called Winnie Mandela. That's what I would also have done. It's unfortunate, guys. I am saddened by the turn of events. But then again, if you've been following this channel for a hot while, you know these are the things that we've discussed before. We've asked questions about the NPA, Batohi. Is it Batohi or Batohi? I don't know. Usually the part comes out naturally. You ask questions about the South African Police Service. We've asked questions about the South African intelligence. We've asked so many questions on this channel. And now things are, I guess, the answers are coming out. on their own. They're like, oh, you remember you asked this question in 2022? Well, here's the answer. Remember you asked this question the entire 2023? Well, here's the answer. That's how it feels like right now. And I'm just hoping that I don't become immune at some point, because we can't afford to be immune, fellow South Africans, because once we become immune, that means we're going to, walk away and throw our hands. And that's what they want, so that they can get away with it. We must focus, and we must not get distracted like we did last week. In fact, the past 2 weeks, we've been distracted, fellow South Africans. I don't know if you noticed. Oh, they throw us with Chidima Adechina, while this side, Cyril Ramaphosa goes and collects billions from the IMF and World Bank. Did we even say anything about that? No, because we're distracted. So I don't know. This week, can we not be distracted, fellow South Africans? It's all I'm asking. Can we not be distracted? Let's pay attention, be focused, ask questions. So anyways, I usually don't check who are the next witnesses at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I usually like to be surprised and see who is the next witness. So I guess we're going to be having a new witness this morning, or they continue. I don't know. Friday I didn't watch, so I don't know if they already had one and they're going to be continuing with him or her today. I don't know. So I just thought, let me come here and voice my own opinion about Idac and Andrea Johnson. Andrea Johnson is a very smart lady. She's intelligent, but she messed up her career. It's over. It is over. And this week is not going to end without her having appeared in court. And the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry continues to produce results, and that is why I take it seriously. So, I hope you are having a good Monday, fellow South Africans, and shall see you later. Goodbye.